Hello there again, boys and girls. You're back at it again. What the heck's he doing now? Well, any of y'all that have been following me know I've been trying to get the clutch changed out in this truck. And in general, it hasn't been too terrible. There's the transmission under there. Clutch is on, pressure plate's on, brand new flywheel. All kinds of other work you can see in my other videos. But the biggest problem I've been having is being under this truck and trying to wrestle this transmission back into place. Now, biggest problem has been trying to get it lined up. I can get the splines on the shaft to go into the clutch disc, but I get it about, I don't know, inch away, and it won't go any further. The problem with putting transmissions in is you've got to get that shaft lined up directly with that engine. It's got to be on a line. One straight line from piece to piece. The problem with the Toyota, it's got front motor mounts. So you can see this. There we go. Here's one. On the front of the engine. The transmission mount on the back, of course, acts as a transmission mount, but it also acts as a third motor mount. It's dead in the center on the cross member underneath there. And when you take that cross member out, the engine and the transmission tilt back like this. Not unexpected and not a bad thing, because you've got two bolts on the top of the transmission. See right up there. And see that small hole between those two big holes? Remember that. And you got to use a long extension and get those bolts out. And I did all that, and that's fine. But getting it back in, it's on an angle. So if you don't have a transmission jack, which I don't, which allows you to actually use pieces that are on it, mechanical devices, to actually pitch it up and down, and even pitch side to side, and of course it raises up and down. All I've got is a floor jack. And trying to get that thing pitched up and get in there, if you do start to get it in there even lined up, because of that pitch and moving it forward, the front end's basically raising it up as you're moving it forward. So there's no way to line up unless you bit at a time, bit at a time, bit at a time. And quite frankly, for me, it's been impossible. I've tried. I've put 3 days into it, 17 hours total, and I still cannot get the transmission in. Yeah, maybe I'm unskilled. Go ahead, laugh, make fun of me, whatever. But I've been looking around, got a few ideas, and here's the idea. Here is the original bolt that goes in one of those top holes. It's metric, of course. 17 millimeter head, probably about a 14 millimeter shaft, fine thread. Can't tell you the size right off, I don't remember right now. It's a 10.9 something. But as you can see, it's 2 inches long. So I got this idea. Let's go get the same size bolt, same shaft size, same thread, but longer. No, I'm not going to draw it on. You're not supposed to do that. What I'm going to do, oh, by the way, go down to a local hardware store and find it. No, I am not sponsored or promoted. And yeah, they're a little expensive. But hey, if I can spend less than $15 to get this transmission back on in under 20 minutes, it's going to be well worth it. Especially after the absolute beating I've been taking by trying to do this. So here's the plan. We're going to take and cut the heads off these bolts. Just like that. Once those are off, we're going to take that stud and we're going to grind a screwdriver straight slot in it. Just in case. And then we're going to take them and we're going to install the threaded end into the back of the block on those top 2 bolts. Now I said, remember that little hole that you saw between those 2 holes? There's a dowel pin that's supposed to locate the transmission. I don't know if I can show it to you or not. Let's try. And by the way, if you don't care about all this explanation, feel free to skip ahead. That's what fast forward is for. Let's get down here. Let's see if I can't zoom in down there. Yeah. See that little pin down there? There's a protrusion. There's a little pin just above it. That pin goes in that little hole in that facing of that transmission. There's another one on the driver's side that I cannot show you. But basically you got one in the upper left and you got one down there. It's to make sure the transmission's perfectly aligned with the engine. It's kind of important. I thought about modifying those pins, modifying the holes. You don't want to do that. But I get these studs screwed into the block, minus the heads with the screwdriver slot in it. Basically on either side, like that. And then I can maneuver the transmission up and slide these 2 studs into those 2 holes in the top of the transmission. That will at least line up this dowel. And since now it can't tip or pivot because these are very much close to the size of those holes on the transmission here, it should align it for me, and all I gotta do is just wiggle the back up and down a little bit and I should be able to slide it in. Ford actually makes a specialty tool just like this for their transmissions. They're the only ones I've seen, except for some other boards where people have made their own, and that's what I'm going to do. So, and I'm going to save it for another day for another video to show you how it's going to work or not work. We're going to find out. But I'm determined this transmission is going back in hell or high water. So stand by. We'll get to it. I'm going to start making these. Oh, and by the way, here's the old pilot bearing that's in there. That fit on the nose cone of that input shaft is a really tight fit in there. But it also happens to be the same size as the holes in the transmission case. So see, here's our bolt. As you can see, nice fit. Just a little bit of rock, maybe a 32nd. So there you go. Okay, so here we go. Got my angle grinder. Got a brand new thin cutoff wheel on there. We'll get slicing on this. Noise alert. I may fast forward depending on how long it takes. Might help to tighten the nut on the grinder. Jeez. Hang on. Well, at least for once, wasn't my fault. Golly. Let's try it again. Another new one. Mine weren't so bad. Sure, that's plenty hot. Oof. Yep. Let's take that out of there. There we go. Get the grinder and grind that flat. And then we'll cut a slot in that. On to the next. There we go. Next thing to do is get the gumption back up, try to use them, put the transmission in. Ooh-wee. Last try was 3 days ago, and I'm still not got my energy back. Long story. But today's Friday, Saturday, I've got all day tomorrow. Might have a little help if the wife's around. So I might just wait till then to give it a shot. But I will tape it and show it to you. But there's my solution, which isn't a solution yet, but hey, I think it's got some good thinking to it. I think it's going to work. So there you go. That's how you make some custom installation tools for your transmission. And again, as I said, on some of the boards, especially the Yoda Tech, there's a couple guys on there who have been doing this for 20, 30 years. And doing it this way for 20 or 30 years, and they wouldn't do it any other way. They say they can get a transmission in 10, 20 minutes with this. Otherwise, it takes them a couple hours. And that's just because they have experience. I've never pulled a transmission before like this or tried to put it back. I've pulled a few but didn't have to put them back because we're just, you know, harvesting parts. For someone else, for friends. But there you go. I've never tried to put one back like this, and this angle is just making it impossible. So hopefully this is going to help us. Hope you liked it. Hope it helps you. After you see my video and whether it works or not, if it works, give it a try. If it doesn't, we'll figure something out. I'll let you know about that too. Thanks again for having a look, guys. See you later.